Hello everyone, we are engineers on the Megatron-Bridge team. I'm Yu Yao.
And I am Chen Cui.
Today we'd like to share some of our progress on how to use skills for development. We welcome everyone to try them out, submit PRs, and give us feedback.
Okay, our first case is a very common scenario, adding support for a model in Megatron-Bridge. So we wrote a model support skill that defines the complete workflow, deliverables, and which components need to be added at each step. As you can see, the prompt is very simple. I want to support some model, and it directly triggers the skill. The skill includes some key clarification logic. Since my prompt is vague, it proactively asks several questions. Can you give me the Hugging Face model link? Is it an LLM or VLM? Because these two types of models are implemented differently in Megatron-Bridge. Is it an MOE? And are there any new architectural blocks? And has the checkpoint been quantized?
Yeah, these questions actually reflect pitfalls we frequently run into when implementing models. For example, MOE and dense models often need different conversion handling. LLM and VLM usually have different code paths, and quantized weights require additional processing.
Okay, so here I just answer the AI's questions. For things like new architectural blocks, where I'm not sure myself, I just hand over the code and let it analyze on its own. And it actually does a pretty good job. So the final plan it produces covers all the key parts that need to be implemented in Megatron-Bridge. First is the bridge itself. This is the most critical piece. But beyond that, it also includes things like unit tests, recipes, functional tests, example scripts, and this flops calculator. So the flops calculator is actually something AI would very likely miss without the skills guidance.
So the value of the skill is to let the AI complete the model support more efficiently and more comprehensively, which also reduces back and forth during PR reviews.
Okay, so the second case addresses another common scenario, which is configuring and debugging training experiments. So we wrote a set of performance-related skills covering recipe recommendation, parallelism strategy, and CUDA graph optimization. The prompt here is also very straightforward. I have one GB200 node. I want to train Q1 3.5. How do I train with the most efficient recipe? So the AI picks up the recipe recommendation skill and searches the code base for existing recipes. It also asks some clarifying questions. So what exactly is your node configuration? What size do you want to train? And is this pre-training, SFT, or LoRa? Because all of these require very different configurations. So I answer its questions. I have 8 GPUs, and I don't really know what is the biggest model I can train. So you let me know. It comes back with some pretty specific recommendations. The maximum model size, how to set parallelism, whether to enable mixed precision, and communication overlap settings. So when you want to optimize further, for example, you can ask whether you can enable CUDA graphs and what are the trade-offs. So when you ask this question, it doesn't just give you a generic answer. You can see it triggers the CUDA graph skill. It reads the specific code implementation and all the known risks documented in the skill. And it gives you a layered and responsible recommendation. Now, if your experiment fails, say you hit some out-of-memory error or you have some loss issues, these skills can also help you diagnose the problem. Whether it's the batch size or parallelism configuration, conflict, or precision setting issue, it gives you a targeted analysis based on the specific setup.
To summarize, today we covered two cases. The first shows how skills can guide a complete development workflow. The second shows how skills can help you configure, optimize, and debug your actual training experiments. With Megatron-Bridge, we hope these real-world examples help everyone use the framework more efficiently. If you have any questions, feel free to open an issue on GitHub and let's discuss together. Thanks, everyone.